Hey guys, welcome back to Jacq of All Trades, and this is episode 29. And today I want to talk about something that sits quietly in the creator economy. You don't see it trending, no one's making a flashy reel about it, but it matters. We are talking about support, who it actually helps, and why supporting small creators isn't charity, it's an investment. There's a quiet truth in the creator economy that doesn't get talked about enough. Support doesn't land the same way at every stage. When you support a big creator or a big brand, you're doing nothing wrong. You like their stuff, you enjoy the content, so you follow, you like, you comment, you show up. Totally valid. But at that level, your support becomes part of a machine. One more view, one more like, one more username flying past in a fast moving feed. It doesn't make it meaningless, but it does make it impersonal. And that's not shade, that's just math. Small creators live in a completely different universe. When you're small, support happens at human scale. And that difference, it changes everything. Let's talk about when support turns into a statistic. Once a creator reaches a certain size, attention blurs, comments scroll too fast to read, names blend together, engagement turns into charts, dashboards, percentages. Your loyalty helps the algorithm more than it helps the person. You could like every post, watch every video, leave comments consistently, and still functionally invisible. Not because the creator doesn't care, but because they literally can't keep up. Scales removes intimacy by default. That's just how the internet works. Now, let's flip that. Because when you're supporting a small creator, support doesn't blend in, it stands out. A follow gets noticed, a comment gets remembered, a share feels unreal. Like, wait, you actually shared my thing? That level of unreal. Early support doesn't just boost numbers, it shifts someone's internal dialogue. It turns, maybe I should stop, into, okay, maybe this is worth pursuing. And that shift, that's huge. Yes, money helps, obviously. Bills exist. Life is rude like that. But early belief does something quieter and honestly more powerful. It builds confidence to keep showing up. It gives permission to take the work seriously. It creates momentum instead of constant self doubt. When you're small, you're not chasing growth, you're fighting invisibility. And having even one person engage genuinely can stabilize someone who's otherwise creating into the void. That's not nothing. And also, this is important, this isn't about pity. Supporting small creators often gets framed as helping the little guy. And no, that framing misses the point entirely. Early support isn't sympathy. It's not, oh, let me support you because you're struggling. It's, I like this. I believe where this could go. You're choosing to invest attention where it actually moves the needle. And attention is currency, whether we admit it or not. There's also a real psychological difference here. Being one of the many is anonymous. Being one of the first is personal. Creators don't remember every follower, but they remember the people who show up when it felt awkward, quiet, uncertain. The ones who didn't wait for social proof. The ones who didn't need a million followers to decide something was worth their time. Those people become part of a creator's internal story. And those stories don't get erased by success. Now, let's be real for a second. Not every creator stays grounded as they grow. Some lose perspective. Some forget the people who supported them early on. Some let growth inflate ego, distort priorities, and blur their beginnings. That doesn't automatically make them villains. Growth changes people, sometimes messily. But most creators who grow intentionally, they remember the difference between being invisible and being seen. And they remember who made that difference. And I know this because I still remember my first follower. She was already streaming back when I hadn't even considered it for myself. And somehow along the way, we went from strangers on the internet to really good friends. I remember the people who show up early, the ones who chatted when the room was quiet, the ones who made streaming feel less like talking to myself. I remember my most loyal viewer, who also happens to be my partner, and a handful of really close friends and gaming friends who kept coming back even when there was zero hype and no reason to stay. Those names, they are burned into my memory, and honestly, no amount of growth erases that. Those are still my people. Not because they were there when it was cool, but because they were there when it was nothing. That kind of support doesn't expire. So, no, this isn't about guilt. You don't need to unfollow big creators. This isn't a moral ranking system. It's about awareness. Big creators will keep growing without you. Small creators are often still deciding whether to keep going at all. That's where attention actually creates change. If you can, find one small creator, someone early, someone still figuring it out. Follow them. Leave a genuine comment. Share something you actually enjoy. Not because you feel obligated, but because early belief is often what turns potential into reality. And if they grow someday, you won't just say you were there. You will know you mattered. And honestly, this topic hits close to home for me because I've been on both sides, creating quietly, wondering if anyone's listening, and having one comment change my entire week. So, yeah, this one's personal. Now, before we wrap, a couple of important updates. Moving forward, Jacq of All Trades is shifting into a seasonal format. Each season will have a theme, about 5 to 6 episodes, and more intention behind how everything connects. Why? Because I'm juggling Twitch streaming, a gaming YouTube channel, and being a human. And instead of burning out trying to be everywhere all the time, I'd rather show up better with more focus. So, this episode 29, is the last one before I take a 3-month break. I'll be using that time to build the next season properly. Season 1 launches in July. Not disappearing, just reloading. In the meantime, if you enjoyed this episode, go ahead and follow the podcast wherever you're listening. And if you want to hang out more casually, come find me on Twitch. I stream games, but I'm also very open to talking about the kinds of topics we explore here: creativity, creator life, messy growth, and all that good stuff. Think of it as the after party with side quests. Alright, that's it for today. Support small creators, not out of pity, but because you know what early belief can do. And remember, sometimes being early is the whole point. Now go spend your attention wisely. It's more powerful than you think. See you next in the new season.